When you innovate, you've got to be prepared for everyone telling you you're nuts. I have had all of the disadvantages required for success. I own a home in Kyoto, Japan, actually on the temple on grounds in Nanzenji that is going to become a Japanese art museum. Bill Gates wants people to think he's Edison when he's really Rockefeller. Referring to Gates as the smartest man in America isn't right. Wealth isn't the same thing as intelligence. I am so disturbed by kids who spend all day playing video games. We think a modern cloud lets you decide when you want to upgrade. We don't decide for you. Bill Gates is the Pope of the personal computer industry. He decides who's going to build. I started NetSuite. NetSuite was my idea. I called up Evan Goldberg and said, "We're going to do ERP on the internet, software as a service." 6 months later, Mark Benioff, finding out what NetSuite was doing, and kind of copied it. When I was a kid a long time ago, when the sun rose, I was outside on my bike. If my parents were lucky poor parents, I would be home before it got dark. Our goal is very simply to become the desktop for e-businesses. We have most of the software industry running autonomy. I believe people have to follow their dreams. I did. We think we're going to be especially strong in platform where we have our 2 platform brands. Our database brand is the Oracle Database 12c, and our programming language brand is this thing called Java. The social network is the paradigm of the modern service application. What is Oracle? A bunch of people. And all of our products were just ideas in the heads of those people, ideas that people typed into a computer, tested, and that turned out to be the best idea for a database or for a programming language. Taking care of your employees is extremely important and very, very visible. They don't call it the internet anymore, they call it cloud computing. I'm no longer resisting the name. Call it what you want. One of the great things about Lanai is that the weather is always fabulous, always 82 degrees and sunny. The problem is that, like California now, Lanai needs more water. A corporation's primary goal is to make money. Government's primary role is to take a big chunk of that money and give it to others. Be careful about virtual relationships with artificially intelligent pieces of software. Maui reminded me of San Diego, beautiful but crowded. We'll continue to expand our footprint. Oracle's Fusion Cloud applications for HCM, CRM, and ERP all have a new simplified user interface and an integrated social network that makes our enterprise applications as easy to use and familiar as Facebook, while enabling better collaboration and teamwork. It's Microsoft versus mankind, with Microsoft having only a slight lead. Oracle's latest database, version 12c, was specifically designed for the cloud. Oracle 12c makes all your Oracle applications multi-tenant applications without you having to make any changes whatsoever to your applications. What is Oracle? It's people. We rely on our HR department to build this organization, to help find those people, to help grow those people. We've announced an Oracle Virtual Compute Appliance, a bunch of low-cost commodity servers running Linux, integrated in our case, with InfiniBand connected with InfiniBand VS, the traditional Ethernet. To model yourself after Steve Jobs is like, I'd like to paint like Picasso. What should I do? Should I use more red? I wish HP nothing but the best. I think HP is an icon. Those of us who had their careers in the Valley think of Dave Packard and Bill Hewlett as role models. We would love to be half as good as they were. Autonomy was shopped to us. We looked at the price and thought it was absurdly high. Oracle's got 100+ enterprise applications live in the hashtag cloud. Today, SAP's got nothing but success factors until 2020. We have an ideal location for a couple of organic wineries on the island. But the reintroduction of commercial agriculture to Lanai is 100% dependent upon increasing the available water on the island. So we're going to use solar energy to convert seawater to fresh water. I'm in two modes when I'm on Lanai. In engineering mode, I'm trying to find the right place for the reservoir and the desalination plant, and looking at designs for new hotel rooms. The rest of the time, I'm in decompression mode. I'm on Hulipo Beach, going for a swim, or on my paddleboard surround. It's surreal to think that I own this beautiful island. It doesn't feel like anyone can own Lanai. What it feels like to me is this really cool 21st century engineering project where I get to work with the people of Lanai to create a prosperous and sustainable Eden in the Pacific. Game playing is more fun when it's virtual because you're more successful. In reality, only one person gets to be Lebron. My favorite museums are things like the Frick Museum in New York and the Huntington Hartford in Pasadena, where it's someone's home that you walk through. I'm going to start these art museums that are basically converted homes, and I have one for modern art, and I have one for 19th century European art, and one for French Impressionism. I've got Japanese. Lanai at one time grew 98% of the world's pineapples. But the world's pineapples are now grown into places, Costa Rica and Panama, because no one wants to spend $45 for a pineapple from the United States. When you write a program for Android, you use the Oracle Java tools for everything, and at the very end, you push a button and say, "Convert this to Android format." People really criticize professional athletes going into the Olympics. People don't like change. A bunch of people don't like the Olympics now because we've added skateboarding. We're modernizing the sport. We conducted the experiment. I mean, it's been done. We saw Apple with Steve Jobs. We saw Apple without Steve Jobs. We saw Apple with Steve Jobs. Now, we're gonna see Apple without Steve Jobs. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.